For those that don't know, every week we go over the RuneScape economy, talk about the big movers in the markets, the big shakers in the market, and see what's been happening, basically. And it's been a crazy week, so let's get into it. Remember, guys, whilst we are talking about the big movers and shakers in the market this week, I don't know how to flip. This is not financial advice. If you try and flip the items that I'm talking about, there's a good chance you will lose money. If you want to get into flipping, do your own research, okay? Don't. Okay. And then also another thing to mention is very rarely during Market Watch Mondays will I talk about an item that I'm actually invested in. I normally don't like to talk about the items that I'm invested in Market Watch Monday because very stupid people accuse me of market manipulation. But today we are going to talk about an item that I'm invested in because I would like to manipulate them. No, I'm joking. Because I have to, bro. It's going crazy at the moment and I can't not mention it. So anyway, of course, I have to pay homage to Flipping Old School. He is the guy that started doing these Market Watch videos, but he only does them once a month. So I have to try and fill in the gap. You know what I'm saying? I need to fucking get my fix. So shout out to Flipping Old School. Ignore this. There's no flipping hedge fund this month. Let's get into it. Last 2 weeks, guys, I've talked about Blighted Manta rays. And this week they've gone back down from 800 down to 620. Last time we talked about them, no, that's not the right one. Last time we talked about them, they were 600 to 800. They'd gone up. And I mentioned it might be a good time to get in on them. If last time was a good time to get in on them, this time is probably a good time to get in on them. Eventually, the bots are going to get banned, and these are going to go back up. As it currently stands, a regular Manta ray is worth 1,500 coins. So Blighted Manta rays will slowly bring themselves back up to around that mark because being worth half as much, a regular Manta ray is 2.5 times more than the Blighted Manta ray. So this is an item that people can have a look at. The reason they're going down, I have honestly no idea. It's got to be something to do with like Wilderness Slayer bots or Rev bots or something like that. And that's just absolutely tanking the price here. I guess we could take a look at other items like Blighted Super Restores to see if they have gone down as well in the same sort of rate. Let's have a look. No, Blighted Super Restores are sort of keeping them. So this might have something to do with Castle Wars, to be honest with you, with the new crates that have come in. But I don't know if that's going to make up. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Honestly, I have no idea. But one thing's for sure, eventually they will come back up, I would imagine, once the bots get taken care of. Next item on my list is the Armageddon weapon scroll, guys. Now, if you've been around the chat for a long time, you know I was heavily invested in Armageddon weapon scrolls. It was the first big item that I did flip. Let me just quickly get up my flipping tracker and show you guys. This was my investment into Armageddon weapon scrolls. I ended up buying about 120, 130 Armageddon weapon scrolls for random prices, mostly in at 52 mil though, and sold them off for mostly 100 mil. Ended up with a 4.7 bill profit from the Armageddon weapon scrolls. And I sold them off at 100 mil, but I specifically said when I sold them off, the only reason I'm selling them off is because we don't know when the next Dead Man is going to get announced. And around the time that I started selling them was around the time that they announced Dead Man the previous year. And as soon as Dead Man comes out, these are going to plummet, right? The Armageddon weapon scrolls are going to go down as soon as the next Dead Man is announced, because you get them with Dead Man points. And once a new Dead Man comes out, you'll be able to get more Dead Man points and you'll be able to buy more Armageddon weapon scrolls, and more of them will come into the game. So currently they're discontinued, and the only way they can go is up, basically. They basically can't go down because once you use it, it's consumed. You can't get it back. And the only way to get more is to use Deadman points. And nobody's going to have many Deadman points left. Or there's not going to be many people with Deadman points left because it's been so long since Deadman. So when I sold them off, the reason I sold them off is because it was around that time last year that that Deadman mode was announced. And I said, I want to sell now because if it gets announced, they're going to crash. I want to make sure I make my money. But I did say, I guarantee if Deadman isn't announced, then the Armageddon weapon scroll will go to 150. And here we are. I might not know how to flip, but I do know one thing about the fucking Armageddon weapon scrolls, and that is the only way they can go is up. Now, they could reach 200. Honestly, I think before the next Deadman, we could see the Armageddon weapon scroll reach 200, and that's because the next Deadman they showed in the RuneFest announcements is going to be in their winter, which is not going to be for another 6-ish months. So if the next Deadman isn't for another 6 months, I think we could see the Armageddon weapon scroll get to 200 mil. I think it's going to get up there. So we'll have to see. I'm going to be keeping my eye on it. I don't have any left. This is one of those things where, damn, it would be nice to still have a couple. But at the same time, I'm happy with my decision to sell at 100 mil. And I'm laughing all the way to the bank with my 4.7 bill profit. You know what I mean, guys? Next item, the Brine Saber. What the fuck? Someone's going to have to tell me what the damn hell is going on here. Why the hell is the Brine Saber gone from 250k 6 months ago up to 1.2 mil at some point? Are there actually bots doing Brine Sabers? It's like a 47 Slayer monster or something like that. It's crazy. What's up, Fat Clock? How you doing, Beast? Yeah, it's insane. Bots are using them? Why would bots be using Brine Sabers? For like lobstrosities or something? It's a rune scimitar. It's the same. But anyway, going up from 250k to currently sat at 700k and peaking at 1.1, which is crazy. I have no idea why. Just thought it was cool to see. And, if someone had a Brine Saber investment, congratulations. It's a clue item. You think a clue item went up this much? 3x in price because it's a clue item. Come on, Nate. What's up? I poop myself. How you doing, brother? Travel Parchment, guys. We spoke about this a little while ago as well. This is a direct result of bots being banned from LMS. This is just a straight direct result of LMS bots being banned. And you can see the Travel Parchment going up from 500k all the way up to 1.3 mil. And it could continue to go up from there until LMS becomes really good money per hour. And people start doing it, or all of the bots come back. And we know this is a direct result of the bots as well, because Rune Pouch Noah has done exactly the same thing. So you can see at exactly the same time, both these items started going up exponentially, and that's just due to bots being banned. And a Rune Pouch is now 5.7 mil, which is absolutely crazy. Who can afford that? Who can afford a Rune Pouch in this economy? Not me, I'll tell you that much for free. I certainly won't be buying one. Next up, Blighted Vengeance Sack. This also could have something to do with the Castle Wars release, guys. Come down from 270, 300 GP down to 100 GP at the moment. Big loss. And once again, could have something to do with the Castle Wars crates. You do get Blighted Vengeance Sacks from the Castle Wars crates now that they've updated them. And I wouldn't say they're widely used. You know what I mean? Obviously, you use them in like venge fighting and PKing, but yeah, there's just a whole bunch of them coming into the game, and I guess not enough of them being used. And big drop there, but getting down very low, so potentially could be a good time to grab a few of these Blighted Vengeance Sacks. Who knows? Next item is the one that we need to talk about, guys. This is the big fucking item of this week. This is the item that I am invested in. Just full disclosure, I bought 110 of these. I still have 83 of them. Okay, full disclosure. And that is the Tormented Synapse. This week, Jagex made an update to the Abyssal Sire so that Demon Bane weapons now one-hit the vents. So everybody wanted to get a Scorching Bow. On top of that, in the same blog post, they are talking about Yama, the Master of Packs, and they say, we'll see you in the Chasm of Fire on Wednesday, May the 14th. So make sure to dust off those Demon Bane weapons. They have come out and just straight up explicitly said Demon Bane weapons are going to be best in slot at Yama. Now, personally, I think it's going to be Mage. I think it's going to be the Purging Staff that people are going to be using. But regardless, after Jagex have come out and basically just said, hey, buy Tormented Synapses. That's literally all they've said with this. You wouldn't believe what happened, guys. In the last week, Synapse has gone from 50 mil up to 69 at the peak yesterday. I think it's currently sat at about 67, 68. So it come back a little bit, and now it's coming back up. Who knows what we're going to see this go to? Lockie thinks it's going to go to 100. I personally think it's going to peak about 75. But there's still a week and 2 days until Yama comes out. So these could just keep going up exponentially until the release. I will say, if you do have Tormented Synapses, if you are invested in these, do not wait for the update. Sell them before the update, because what is happening right now is they're being priced in for the update. People are expecting them to be used. People are expecting them to be a hot commodity on update day, and they're being priced in right now. So do not wait for the update to sell. If you wait for the update to sell, no one's going to be buying them. Everyone will have already bought them, and the price is going to plummet. The only way they're going to go up on the day of release is if Wooks walks into the Yama boss fight with 14 different Demon Bane weapons in his inventory and discovers some crazy mechanic. So remember, sell your Synapses before the updates, unless you want to take a big risk and hope that something crazy happens, because it's being priced in currently. But yeah, huge moves here. I bought 110 Synapses for 43 mil. I sold 27 of them off at 59, and I still have the other 83. We're looking at about a 3-4 bill profit by the time I sell them off, which is going to be one of the biggest flips I've ever done. Absolutely crazy. So big up Lockie on the call on that one. And then, of course, ladies and gents, the big three, the mega rares. We talk about these every week, but they're not really a big talking point at the moment because Yama's coming out. The mega rares are not expected to be best in slot for, any of them expected to be best in slot for the boss fight. So they're not a huge hot commodity at the moment. And as such, we have seen pretty stagnant market here. 1.5 bill for the Twisted Bow, up from 1.4 bill for 8 bill at the start of last week. 20 mil rise, but not a whole heap going on there. And then, of course, you have the Tunic and Shadow, 1.12, still sitting at about 1.11 at the end of the week. So not big moves in the market for either the Shadow or the Twisted Bow. However, with the Slash armor coming out, people are still buying into the hype of the Scythe. The Scythe is going to get way more powerful with the new Oath Plate armor coming out. And so we are still seeing the price come up. 1.82 bill sat there for the Scythe, now very comfortably in the spot of the most expensive mega rare. Took over the Twisted Bow earlier this year and has stayed in that spot. Now, I have said, guys, 100 million times, if Yama comes out and the Scythe is best in slot at Yama, it will hit max cash. But I think that has led to the reason why Jagex has sort of not made it best in slot. We don't know for sure that it's not best in slot, but the way that they've been talking, I think pretty likely that it won't be best in slot and will no longer reach max cash. But at some point, in the near future, I can see the scythe hitting max cash, and hopefully at that point is when we are allowed to use platinum tokens on the Grand Exchange. And that's Market Watch Monday, baby.